Hey guys, it's Michael from Wild as the Heart. Today we're going to be talking about how to use some of the AI tools in Photoshop and Lightroom to enhance our video thumbnails. So we'll just hop right into it. Here I've got a still from one of the films I just recently finished. It's a pretty looking shot. It's a little, framing's a little off, head's cut off, and there's a road here. But using AI, we can actually fix these. So the first thing we want to do is we want to use AI to generate more of this image. Obviously, this is the shot. I don't have the pixels of his hair here. I don't have anything down here. It's literally just this is the shot. But with AI, we can use it to generate those missing things. So what we're going to want to do is hit C for crop or go to our crop tool. We're going to hold Alt and Shift or Option and Shift if you're on a Mac. And we're just going to drag. And we're going to add about that much. So what we're going to do here is when we hit generate, artificial intelligence is going to use whatever magic they have to fill in these pixels that is now part of the canvas. So I'll just show you how it works. If you've never seen this before, you're going to be very impressed, but take a look. All right, so it's finished generating, and if this is your first time generating with AI in Photoshop, you'll be very impressed with how it did. Sometimes it does some weird things like this, but it gives you 3 variations every time you generate. So let's click through these, see which ones look reasonable. These are all kind of meh. I don't like what's going on down here. We're not going to use this anyway. We're going to crop it, but let's make it as close as we can. I remember what his hair looked like on the day. And it's definitely not that. That's closer. This is pretty close, but let's try and generate again and see what happens. All right, we got 3 more. That one's not bad. Not a fan of the hair there. One's a little too messy. This one's pretty good. Let's go with this one. Things you'll see when you do this is it's not going to be perfect here. You can see that there's a line where the real turns into fake, even over here a little bit, but that's all stuff that we can use like just native things in Photoshop to fix. So we're going to want to merge these so that this is our working layer. So there's multiple ways to approach removing things with AI. And sometimes it works, like first try, really easily. Sometimes it's a little more difficult. So what we're going to do, we're going to hit our lasso tool or hit L, and we're going to select the first thing we want to remove, which is this little bit of road here. So I'm going to hit generative fill, and I'm going to give it a little prompt. So basically what you're telling it is what you want to happen. If you don't say anything, it'll try to do its best. We can give that a shot. Okay, so it added some gravel instead of the ground. That's some weird tree thing, and there's just some dirt. So we're going to want to be a little more direct and more specific with what we want it to do. Let's try remove. Honestly, not bad. I want it to be grass though, so what I'm going to do with AI, when you're trying to do things like this, the simpler you can make it for it, the better. So we're going to use some of the built-in things that also use AI for to our advantage. We're going to duplicate this layer. So the goal for me right now is I'm going to separate the background and the foreground so that I don't have people here to distract the AI from removing this road. So sorry about the taskbar. I'm going to turn off this back layer. I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to hit remove background because this is going to be my foreground layer and I just want them on it. These tools are incredible. They're very, very good, especially when you have such depth to your image or when you have little depth to your image like I do. So this is a good crop. This is the foreground now, and I have this on its own layer. So we're going to turn that off. We're going to come down to the background layer. I'm going to go ahead and select subject here. And now that they're selected, this is going to be a little funky, but I'm going to tell AI to remove. I'll just say remove. Obviously not what we were going for. This will work much better. So obviously it's still very janky. You still have these weird lines, but what we're going to do is merge this with the original background so that this is now our plate. We're going to hit M or our marquee tool. And we're going to just draw. If I accidentally didn't get the whole thing, I can hold spacebar and move it, let go, and draw around the rest of them. And now I can tell AI, I want these weird lines gone. So let's say remove weird lines. Cool, look at that. We have a clean background. So now if we merge this with our background, actually before we merge, let's take a look. We have 3 versions of this. I like that one because there's more yellow. May not look as real, so we can toggle this on. Honestly, they all look pretty good. I'm gonna go with, actually I kind of like this one because there's more green in between them. Let's go with this one. So we're gonna merge this with our base layer, and now we have a foreground and a background. Let's apply this mask so that we have this on its own. Cool. So now AI is going to have a much easier time understanding that this is a road instead of it being a road behind people. So let's try this. I'm going to draw around the whole road with the lasso tool. And let's just give it remove. Look at that. Grass. Exactly what we wanted. We have like a few options. I love this one. Yeah, I like this one more. It's got a little bit of yellow in here. Look at this. And now we have a whole new background. To us, this might look fake. It might look different because we're used to seeing the original. But to the first time someone sees this, they're not going to know a thing. Some of the issues that we had from before, which are still here in the foreground, this line, we can tell where the real ends and the fake begins. So we're going to go in here with our spot healing brush, which is just our shortcut is J, and we're going to mess around with this. This might take a couple of tries. You just want to like try to paint over it as much as you can and blend it. Doesn't have to be perfect. You obviously don't want to see that, but you just want to blend it so that the line is much less visible. That's not what we want. A little bit too big there. That's not bad. Also not bad. Let's see. Like it looks a little bit like artifacting, but honestly, someone looking at this on a thumbnail, YouTube thumbnail that's like 720p, like no one's gonna see that. So this looks pretty good. Obviously it's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit wider than I'd like. So what we're gonna do is once we're done all of our edits and all of our adjustments, we are going to shrink it back down. So if you want to see actually a way to kind of gauge this, this was the original. Let's put this in the top. So this is what we started with. Sorry, this is what we started with. We didn't have a head here. We didn't have anything here. We had a road, but now we've got this, which is great. Now what we're going to do is we're going to shrink this down to crop in a little bit more so it's a little tighter on the shot because it does look like a tighter shot. It's not a wide shot. So let's go like that. Let's see what that looks like. So I'll get rid of this. That's not bad. I don't mind that at all. Cool. We shrunk it down. Looks good. We're going to export this. We will export it as a JPEG. Make sure our size is fine. We'll do 1920 by 1080. We can always shrink it later if it's too big for YouTube. We'll call it after no edit, just for this video, obviously. Let's go to Lightroom. So as video editors, we're usually contained within our editing software, which is usually Premiere, Resolve, Final Cut. But when we're dealing with images, we can utilize other tools, such as Lightroom. This is Lightroom Classic. And this is a very, very powerful tool. And obviously this is completely uncharted territory for us video people, but it's fairly easy to understand and it's really powerful. So what we want to do is we want to bring in our image. So this is the after, or sorry, yeah, this is the after. We're going to import it. We're going to head over here to develop. This is where we edit our photo or our thumbnail. Obviously you can find videos on this where how you can like import your LUTs as presets here. But I have them in here already, so I'll just go ahead and pick one. So that's with my LUT preset applied. And I'll show you some tools in here that are really, really useful. You're going to be kind of mind blown if you've never seen this before. I'm not a pro in this software at all. I'm still learning it, but it's fairly easy to understand. There's a masking tool here. And what you can do with this tool is like you can even see it already does it for you. If you don't know what a mask is everything in this red highlight here is selected. So any edit that you would make within that mask would happen only within what's selected. So Adobe has added something called AI masks. So if we go here and add new mask and we say select the subject, it's going to look at your image and use AI to determine what is your subject, and it's going to mark all those pixels. And check this out. Look at that. Our mask here shows that we've selected the subject, and it's pretty perfect. It's like right on. You can toggle this overlay just to see what you're selecting, but when you're editing, the overlay's on, it'll turn off, and look at that. You're only editing what's in the mask. So we're going to turn the mask off, and I mean, this looks okay to me. Obviously, you can make your edits if you want more shadows, like if you want them to pop a little more, you can turn up your highlights, so on and so forth. Another cool thing, you can make a mask of the sky if you want to replace the sky, or if you want to change the sky, if it's too bright, if you want to blow it out, or if whatever, you can do that. But you can also select the background, which is going to select everything but the subject. So what you can do that's really cool is you can come down here to color mixer. And what you can do is with your mask selected, so this one knows that I've selected the background, you can make colors, like you can edit based off of colors. So this is pretty easy to do in Resolve, but in Premiere and I'm not sure about Final Cut, but in Premiere, this is doable. It's just a little less flexible and a little worse. This is much better. Obviously, it's a video file you're working with there. This is a photo and it's one frame, so it's a lot easier to pinpoint pixels for the program. So let's say we want our greens to be more green. We can take this slider right here, and it's going to change the color of just the greens that are selected in your mask. So obviously it's not touching his flower there, but it is touching the background. So I like having my stuff a little warmer. So we'll desaturate the greens a little bit more towards yellow. And I like that. And another thing you can do is if you see these yellow flowers you want, you can go here to saturation. There's yellow, and you can saturate it a little bit more so they pop. Go to the extreme here so you can see the difference. But you see how it's changing the saturation of the yellow. It's really cool, very handy, make things pop a little more. It's also this new, I'm assuming it's new because this is early access. I haven't played around with this too much, but it's very cool. I just tried it a little bit earlier. Lens blur. And what this is essentially going to do, I don't know if it's AI or what, but it's analyzing the image and it's going to allow me to add artificial compression. So I shot this on a 50mm lens, but I can make it look like it was shot on a 85mm lens, and it's better than just blurring the background because this is more accurate to what a lens would actually do. If you have lights in the background, you have bokeh, you can change the shape. Very cool tool. I shoot it on Micro Four Thirds, so it's a little hard to get that nice compression, but there it is. We can add some sharpening. If you want to just sharpen the subject, we can go here to our subject mask and we can sharpen this. But yeah, there's so much you can do here. Thumbnails are the first thing that people see when they're clicking on your videos. You want them to be good. You want them to be crisp. You want them to be a good representation of the quality of your work. There's things that we can't control on the wedding day. I couldn't control that there was a road there. I couldn't have them go in this like weedy grass. I didn't want to make them do that. But with AI and with these tools, I was able to make this look much better and make it look much more professional, less distracting, and it's way prettier than just not using a shot that I really liked because it was framed wrong or because there was stuff in the background. That's the power that photo has over video, is you can remove things, you can edit things, you can change physical things in the file or in the image. But with video, it's a lot harder to do that stuff. So we use the tools that we have and we make the best of it. So yeah, we can go ahead and export it. I think I already have these saved from before. We'll call it after edited. And let's check this out. Here is the before, after the AI. Here, we'll start from the original. This is the original. Here is the AI generated. Remove the background, remove the road, fix it up a little bit. And here's our final edit. So we went from this to this. Honestly, this isn't a bad frame. I don't hate it. I think it's a little bit too much in between a close-up and a wide, so I would either have wanted to go in closer or pull it a little bit more to have his head in it, but I was able to do it with AI. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.